Thank you ever so much for your present. Rất là biết ơn sự hiện diện cả nhà nha. What's wrong with my camera? It somehow got cut off. Let me see. Tắt rồi. Ok. It shows only part of the camera. Rồi. Today is session 3 of fulfilled awareness of marriage. And yesterday we already discussed about Yesterday we already discussed about the awareness of marriage. Okay, so we have, most of us, when we have problems in our marriage, we often look at how to solve the behavior, and that somehow doesn't lead us to where we want it to be, doesn't get us the desirable outcome, the result that we want. So, and we know that awareness is the root of our thinking and that lead to our behavior. So if we understand what is awareness and change our awareness, then we can change the root of the problems, and hence that will lead to the outcome, which is the behavior transformation. So yesterday we also talked about the different levels of awareness. So we had 3 levels of awareness. That is not having awareness, having awareness, and have fulfilled awareness. Okay. So these are the 3 different levels of awareness. Okay. So with a person, when we mentioned anything about marriage, they have negative inner state about it, then that person have no awareness of marriage. Doesn't matter how long that person have got married or whether they're single or not. Okay, whenever a person have an negative inner state related to marriage, they are having no awareness, they lack awareness of marriage. Okay. And when we mentioned anything about marriage, that person having inner state that remains balanced or positive, then they have awareness. And if mentioned about marriage and someone have a balance on positive inner state about marriage, also they have a clear image of what marriage they would like to have. They also have a certain source concept of marriage. Then that person reach to nearly close to fulfilled awareness of marriage. Okay, obviously, there's not anyone actually reach 100% fulfilled awareness of marriage, because of the source concept that are lacking in their perspective, in their view, in their understanding. Okay, so therefore not anyone currently in our society actually have 100% fulfilled awareness of marriage, but we can be close to it. Okay? We can be close to it. Okay. So that's what we have discussed yesterday. We have clarified the different levels of awareness. Okay. And then that's the first question we got to answer when we help someone to resolve their problems in marriage, or whenever anyone comes to us and raise a question, give us any inquiry related to marriage, then that's the first things we got to recognize and distinguish. Okay, where is the level of awareness? And then the second step, which we're going to do today, okay. The second step, we're going to determine, okay, after we already know where is the level of awareness, okay, which level they are. Okay. We're not going to change their behavior, we're looking at changing their awareness. So we're going to help them to move from no awareness to have awareness, and from having awareness to fulfilled awareness. Okay. And so the second question we're going to ask is, why is it necessary to have fulfilled awareness about marriage? Why it's important for a person to move from having no awareness to have awareness and then reach fulfilled awareness in marriage. Okay. Because there's a certain people who do not yet have awareness. They often say things like, it's fine even if I don't get married. What's the big deal? Marriage, spouse, children, so too tiring. Okay, so that perspectives simply showed that they do not yet have awareness, and perspective change everything. Okay, so because they do not yet understand why marriage is important. The moment we understand why marriage is important, we'll be able to shift our mindset, shift our awareness, okay, and have a clearer image as well as clearer source concept about marriage. And to explain this, we will examine marriage through the 4 dimensions of the 4 great gratitude. Okay. 4 great gratitude, or in the past we use the word 4-fold gratitude. Or it have another name, which is for survival motivation, which we're going to examine. We're going to observe together. Marriage holds meanings for all of these 4 elements, not just for an individual alone, okay, but also for family, for organization, and for society. So why does an individual need marriage? Why does a person marry for the sake of their family? Or why do organizations need people to have marriage and family? And why does society need the presence of marriage? We will gradually clarify the meaning of marriage in relation to all 4 survival motivations. Okay. So when we said that we're going to be looking at the 4 great gratitude, It refers to the four sources to which we should express our gratitude to repay. Okay, and when we call it the name of four survival motivations, means that we viewed from this perspective of survival motivation. So these are also the four aspects that human beings naturally need to protect and develop. So first, let's look at the individual level. So earlier, okay, in the first session, okay, we mentioned that marriage between a man and a woman. Yeah. So at present in Vietnam, particularly, okay, Vietnam does not legally recognize same-sex marriage. And since we are discussing this from the perspective of Vietnamese people, we will first approach marriage based on Vietnamese law and cultural context. Yeah, obviously, some country in the world nowadays they have approved same-sex marriage, but majority country in the world still similar to Vietnam do not recognize same-sex marriage. And also back in the day, in our ancestor times, in our great-grandparents' times, same-sex marriage is has been viewed as something healthy. Okay. So we will just looking at Vietnamese culture for now. Okay. So we're going to approach marriage based on Vietnamese law and cultural context first, including Vietnamese people who live abroad, and obviously we will still remain Vietnamese cultural values. So for the individual, marriage helps to create balance. Yeah. Okay. So what does marriage do for individual? What's the importance of marriage related to ourselves? First is help to create balance, especially the balance of yin and yang. Create balance. Okay, the balance of yin and yang. We live in a world where yin and yang represent everything in our life. Okay, so this balance becomes a very significant supporting force in a personal life. So when a person lives alone, it's like standing on one leg. Okay? But when there is another person to love and to share life with, it's like having two legs. That's we keep balance with two legs, right? And when we have two legs, we are able to work together, go further, and move more steadily in life. Marriage itself is not something to be afraid of. What is truly frightening is an unhappy marriage. That's what everyone afraid of, an unhappy marriage. However, marriage, like all things in life, follows the principle of duality. Okay. So in the inner being class, we talk about the principle of light. And in the principle of light, we mention the principle of duality, right? So marriage is the same as follow the principle of duality. It always has two sides, light and dark, good and bad, positive and negative. We have to go through those bad days in order to appreciate the good days. Okay, we somehow have to see the weakness in the other person to respect or to love their strength. Okay, so if we possess level 1 of wisdom, we will know how to choose to look at the good side, the bright side, the positive side to focus on. Okay, and everything in life have two sides, right? Take a medal, for example. Right. The front side of the medal always look beautiful, but does anyone turn it over and to admire the back of the medal? Not really, right? Okay, the back is rarely as beautiful as the front. Most of the time it's be blank. A painting on the wall, for example, the front side of the painting is vibrant and radiant, and yet the back side is not as beautiful at all. So with these objects, we naturally know which sides we should look at. And marriage is the same. We need to choose the bright side, the good side, and cultivate our focus there. So from this perspective of the individual, marriage helps create balance in life and provides a strong source of support, enabling us to work longer, go further, and move more steadily on the journey of life. So, in marriage, there may be 50% happiness and 50% unhappiness. That is something we got to give and something that we take. Okay? So, most people who do not yet have awareness about marriage tend to only look at the 50% negative side, and the 50% positive side they almost never see. Even if other people explain it to them, they do not listen. And even if they are shown examples, they still do not see it. They will say that, this is merely an act, or claim that only those inside the blanket know whether there are fleas. Okay. Talk about fleas. So, there's an idiom. Only those inside the blanket know whether there are fleas. Yeah. Ở trong chăn mới biết chăn có rận. Fleas. Talk about flea. We have flea last couple of months. A bed bug, I think, more bed bug. And take me a whole month to get rid of them. So that perspective reflects a lack of fulfilled awareness. And in reality, we can list many benefits that marriage brings to an individual. So in the past, I often heard friends talk about these benefits, but I did not pay any attention or take them seriously. And that was when my awareness of marriage was still dormant. Now, we're going to we're going to draw let's get a paper and draw 5 bullet points so we can write down the benefits of marriage for ourselves. First, starting from the balance. Marriage helps us to reach balanced life. Okay, and these benefits include It brings us happiness, bring us we're having a capital to start a business, like yesterday chị Vân mentioned, for individual, right? Having a companion, we can activate our potential through marriage, and through a marriage process, it also helps us to cultivate our qualities and characters, our virtues and our characters. So at some point when we get married, our virtue grow. Yeah, our virtue grow through marriage. Okay, when we see the benefit, then when a person see the benefit in marriage, they will choose to get married. Okay, doesn't matter how much you learn about virtue and how much you try to practice it in your life, you're unable to reach to certain growth if you do not get married. So having someone to accompany and to share the joys of life is also another benefit of marriage. Another benefit is that we'll be able to receive gifts on all special occasions and holidays. Okay. Or being able to give love and also receive love in return. Enjoying delicious food and experiencing many places together with the person we love. If you are married and you joined which organization, then you can run together, you can exercise together, and you can learn together, you can explore the world together. Okay. You can go to different lands together, you can meditate together, share and support each other to grow and become happier together. And marriage means that having someone to do things together with, sharing both joys and sadness. So marriage gives you a life partner for the rest of your life. It also means that you have additional incomes from your husband or your wife's salary, if both of you decide to work, of course. So there's a lot of benefits of marriage, right? Okay, so having someone to accompany, companionship. Okay, having an extra income. That's a benefit. Okay, a partner for life. That is a companionship, right? So we have someone to do things together. We can activate our potential. Okay, increase our potential. Can be happier together. Okay, it will cultivate our virtue. Okay. Cultivating our virtue. Etc. There's many more benefits in marriage. Okay. Right, and when we have a life partner, sometimes from a marriage, it can be indirectly or directly from our spouse that we also grow our knowledge. Okay, also grow in knowledge. Okay, and in our subconscious, we somehow subconsciously absorb many good image, positive image about marriage through our life partners. Okay. So for the people who are afraid of marriage, maybe because somehow they have content so many negative images about marriage that they don't even know. Woman said that in her family, she is the eldest child, okay, and her father is the eldest son among 10 siblings. So she did not truly open her heart until she was nearly 29 years old. And even though she had the intention of wanting a good marriage and try her best, things still did not always turn out as expected. Okay. And once she joined with community, joining this class, okay, she could not have thought of any benefit of marriage at first. But then she remembered two images that she used to hold in her mind. First, that is when she saw a happy family, and while she get herself felt lonely, she saw a happy family playing together. And that means having children would mean having companions and confidence in life. And secondly, in the past her health was very bad. People around her often said that, oh, just get married and you will become healthier. So almost like a miracle medicine. And later, she learned that marriage and having children help regulate the body energy, harmonize the yin and yang, balance, okay, balance, regulate and balance the body energy, harmonize yin and yang, and creates hormones which can improve health. Okay, so we also have health benefit into marriage. Okay, so the improvement of health and a sense of fulfillment in old age. So in old age, we will reach the sense of fulfillment. Okay, this is just a sense of fulfillment. Whether you get fulfilled or not, it depends on how you applying this knowledge in your life, right? Sense of fulfillment. Sense of fulfillment. And the other benefit of getting married to an individual is, and not just individual, but other aspect as well, is to continue the family lineage. Okay, continue family lineage. Okay, so we have already classified so many benefits of marriage. Yeah. So any of these benefits actually relate to any of you? Right, so we have so many benefits of marriage for the individuals. Let's systemize them a bit. Okay, systemize them in more structured way. Do you still remember the model of the inner home, the W home, the diagram of the W home? Okay, let's redraw it. Okay, the foundation of the house is our inner being. Yeah. Okay. And the important pillar on the right is relationships. relationships. Okay. Another important pillar on the left is our health. Okay. And the roof of the house is our finances. Okay, so we call this the W home. Okay, a model that represents the important dimensions in a person's life. So now let's look at this model to examine the benefits of marriage for the individuals. Okay, because an individual life, okay, we're surrounded by these four factors. Okay, our inner being, our health, our relationships, our finances. None of our issue in life is out of these four factors. Okay. So with inner being, let's consider the inner being first. When we choose to live with another person, we have the condition to master our inner world. We become aware that we need to circulate between three inner states: appreciation and gratitude, honoring gratitude, tolerance, peace, and choice. So we study the practice of enriching our mindset. Okay, enriching our mindset. So we learn about the inner world, inner being, so that we can master ourselves. And living together with a person who was once complete a stranger, with no blood relationships and no prior bond, yet still being able to live in harmony, this truly proves that we are capable of mastering our inner being. Otherwise, everything we say about inner beings remain merely theory. Okay? So, for an individual, we'll be able to master our inner being once we live with another person for the rest of this life. We have an opportunity, we have circumstances that will come up for us to be able to remain in tolerance or in inner peace or in honoring gratitude. So, if with just one person we cannot feel honoring gratitude, we cannot practice tolerance, and we cannot maintain inner peace, then how can we talk about mastering our inner being in this life? Right? How could anyone possibly master life without first mastering their inner being? Okay. So let's get another piece of paper and we write down the benefit of individuals for individual in marriage. Okay. Benefits of marriage for individual. Yeah. So one benefit of marriage for the individuals is that it creates a condition to master our inner being. Okay, it's create a condition to master our inner being. That is the first benefit. So if we truly wish to master our lives, we must master these 4 aspects of inner being, health, relationships, and finances. Okay? So the foundational root is our inner being. So everyone say they want to study in order to master their inner being, master their inner world, and enrich their mindset. But if we are not even willing to embrace and live with one person, then in reality we are not daring to create the conditions for ourselves to practice. Because we fear that, this person might disturb our life. Okay, we fear things might not go as we wish. We fear the complexity and exhaustion. So, in the end, we do not want to marry. We do not dare to marry. We look at everyone and find them unsuitable. And a person with such a mindset needs to re-examine their capacity for inner mastery. So if whenever marriage is mentioned, you feel uneasy, you do not know whom to marry, or you feel that people have too many problems, then please remember this point. Human beings themselves are not problems. Okay? People are not problems. People are valuable talent. People are talent asset. And that each person is a machine, is an engine that generates our merit and blessings, generate our good merit and balanced merit. And if we keep searching but cannot find anyone perfect enough, it simply means that we have not yet mastered our inner being. Okay, so the moment you realize that you have not yet mastered your inner being, okay, you need to have an image of someone you want to marry. And that will help you to master your inner being, master your inner world. Okay. Do not fear that anyone might come and disrupt our life. Therefore, in marriage, marriage becomes a way for us to create the conditions to affirm our own value. I am a person with value, and I can master my inner being. So, if there is just one person, the person we love and who loves us, and yet we still cannot live with them in honoring gratitude, in tolerance, inner peace, then how can we possibly live harmonious with a world of 7 billion people? Okay? Therefore, a husband or a wife is a person who helps us master our inner being most effectively in this world. Why is that? Why a husband or a wife is a person who helps us master our inner being most effectively? It's because that they live with us every day. They are constantly present beside us, and they act according to their own collective, own total karma, their collective karmic patterns, not according to our wishes. They do not, most of the time, the husband or the wife, they do not do what we want, right? They do what they want. And similar to that, when we live with someone for life, we also do what we want. We do not we do not live according to their wishes. But somehow we bring two wantings, two demands come together. So because of that person's presence, we can truly see whether we are able to enter the right inner state, and whether we can genuinely master our inner being. Imagine studying about the inner being for more than 40 courses, yet in the end being afraid that we cannot even embrace and live with one person. If you can realize this, you might just tell yourself that, oh, I can marry anyone now. There's nothing to fear anymore. Right? Because our teachers entrusted us with the mission of supporting and guiding 10,000 people. But if we cannot even embrace one person, then how could we become a mentor? How could we become an inner being coaching and consulting specialist? Right, so everyone should understand this clearly. Between a husband and a wife, the only thing that is slightly different from other relationships is that there may be a sexual relationship. Aside from that, in terms of loving and embracing another human being, it is almost the same. So if we cannot even embrace one person, and we claim that, oh, I can support and guide 10,000 mentors of the teachers, then that would simply be untrue. So if there is one person that we love and they also love us, yet we still do not dare to commit our lives together, then how could we advise or coach other people about inner being? Inner being or inner mastery. So when someone had not yet built a harmonious marriage, teachers will not assign them great responsibilities. And this also relates to the organizational dimension, which we will discuss later. Right, so in summary, the benefit of marriage for ourselves or our inner beings is very clear, right? It becomes a living exercise, constantly giving us opportunity to decode and practice mastering ourselves. So when we open our eyes in the morning, we see that person. Before we go into sleep, we see that person again. So if we are overwhelmed by the mindset that, oh, what if I cannot embrace this person, and therefore do not dare to step into marriage, then our inner being is not yet stable. But once we are ready, we can simply step forward, because life is a journey where two people work together hand in hand, light-heartedly and joyfully. Okay. Secondly, in terms of health, marriage benefits both men and women, whether viewed through religions, science, or moral philosophy. So from a scientific perspective, a male and female reproductive organs are biologically designed to function best through union over the long term. Okay. For men, lack of sexual release with a female partner may lead to declining in health. And also for women, if their reproductive organs are not properly activated and used, the risk of reproductive health problems such as fibroids, cysts, and ovarian issues may increase. So if a man does not have a healthy sexual relationship with a woman and cannot release sexual energies, his health may decline. The same is said for women. if the reproductive organs are not properly activated and used, the risk of problems such as fibroids, cysts, and ovarian disorders may increase. Okay, so these are the names of some of those health problems that relate to reproductive organs of women, such as fibroid, cái bệnh liên quan đến hệ sinh sản hay cả nhà là u xơ là fibroid, cyst là u nang, okay. And ovarian disorders. Các vấn đề về buồng trứng, okay. So these are a few problems that women may have, or they may increase the chance of having them without marriage or without sexual male partner. And doctors also say that women in harmonious marriage with fulfilling sex lives tend to have better health. Okay, so as part of human nature, men and women are made to complement each other. Okay, men having more yang in their body and women having more yin in their body. So when the body when bodily functions are not used, they may weaken or deteriorate over time. And in the same way, if the reproductive organs do not fulfill their function, okay, cơ quan sinh sản ha, reproductive organ, reproductive organs, if they do not get fulfill their function is not being used, our overall health may be affected. Okay, therefore the most basic health benefit is that the union of a man and a woman can improve both partner well-being. Okay, improve well-being. In overall. Okay, it also encourages us to take care of our health and enjoy more fulfilling sex life. So with this understanding, women need not worry about what happened after 40, because good health has no age limit if it is properly maintained. Now, having a husband or wife can also provide motivation to care for oneself. If a person lives alone, they might focus only on outward appearance and neglect their internal and reproductive health, even though illness in those areas can seriously affect life and well-being. So in this view, marriage greatly supports our health. Okay. And the harmonious of yin and yang alone is considered beneficial. And a fulfilling marriage life might also release hormones and nutrients that help people feel younger, feel healthier, feel less stressed, and feel better rested. Okay. And in science also support this effect as well. It further argues that when men reach sexual maturity without marriage, they may turn to masturbation. Okay. Masturbation. This not only the thing that men do, but also women also masturbate. Okay. Masturbate or masturbation or sexual outlet outside marriage. Okay. Either way is not healthy. So if we prolong our masturbation, that can harm our reproductive health and the nervous system. While sex outside marriage may lead to moral, legal, psychological health risks. Okay. The risks are even greater for women because their bodies are more sensitive and more vulnerable to infection or injury. And for this reason, Vietnam's legal marriage age is between age 20 for men and 18 for women. So the idea of providing a socially and legally recognized sexual life. Okay, so in marriage, marriage is presented as highly important because emotionally a spouse gives us constant opportunity for us, the condition for us to master our inner being. Okay, opportunity for self-mastery. Physically, marriage improves our overall health, our well-being, especially reproductive health. And marriage also helps us to when we fulfill our marital life, our marital life may release hormones such as endorphins that promote pleasure, joy, and well-being. Okay. Next, let's look at relationships. Okay. Regarding relationships, when we marry someone, we do not just gain one relationship. Okay. How many relationships we get ourselves into when we marry someone, everyone? How many relationships? We not just gain one relationships, we also gain an entire network of relationship through that person's family, right? The bigger families, the bigger their families is, the more relationship we connected to. Okay, we gain an entire network of relationships. In that sense, marriage can be a great advantage. Yeah. Outside in society, we have to work hard to connect with people and exchange value in order to upgrade relationship with each individual, right? Okay. So let's say when you enter into mentor course, mentor program, you will be connected to other 20 people in your house, and that's it, mostly 20 people. Some of you may go a bit further and connect with other people in the same course or previous course, other mentors, other masters, okay, in the same organization. Okay, but some of those you can count on your finger, you can count your hand. And with those relationships, you have to work hard to create connection. But when you marry someone, automatically, you don't have to work hard at all. Automatically, you connected to the entire network of relationships. Okay. So because without people, how could we create our merit and blessings so that life become better? A woman with a husband still need to connect with other people to create value. Doesn't matter whether she stay at home, she be doing housework, okay, stay at home, taking care of children, no longer go outside. But any woman, when they stay at home, they still have the need to connect with others to create value. So technically, when a wife stay at home to take care of their family, she create certain value to her husband and her children. But when we get married, we immediately have a whole social relationship systems behind us. When we become a member of that family, they already give us a basic portion of love and acceptance, even before knowing what we will do. So if we also conduct ourselves properly and kindly, then we gain an entire network of relatives from both sides of the family, from grandparents to parents to siblings and extended relatives, all loving, embracing, and supporting us. So it is wonderfully beneficial beyond our imagination. Woman said that in the past she was very stubborn and did not listen to anyone. And her life didn't turn out so well. So if she had listened earlier, it would have been wonderful. Because it was not that people spoke and she did not understand. It was that she did not even allow anyone to speak about relationships, about marriage. And we know that social relationship is essential for a person's life. It's like the right pillar of our life. Okay, and we normally work hard to study and improve ourselves, partly to build, strengthen, and elevate our relationships. So marriage gives us not only the closest relationships, a spouse, but also an entire extended family. Okay, give it a network of relationships. Without us having to try to upgrade, trying to connect. Okay, we don't have to try anything. Once we marry someone, we automatically get connected to a network of relationships. Okay, so marriage gives us not only the closest relationships with our spouse, but also an entire extended family. If we know how to conduct ourselves well, then that whole family may become our love and support. Okay, so that family may come to love us and support us. Compared with being alone, the difference is enormous. Yeah, in relationship, when you compare a person who got married with a person who being single, the difference is huge. Because if something happened, both sides of the family may step in to protect you. Having a husband or wife is presented here as an immeasurable advantage. So if people focus only on the negative side of marriage, they will say that, they will ask that, why to look only at the bad when marriage has both positive and negative sides, right? So once we have enough wisdom to distinguish right from wrong and good from bad, we should actively choose and cultivate what is good. So if, we know earlier, we would have marriage as like 20. And in Vietnam, common in the past when she was 17 years old, someone has already proposed to her. That was one of her memories. She said that back in the day when she was 17, there was a Vietnamese American man with a Vietnamese mother and an American father. So his family wanted him to marry a Vietnamese woman because his older brother has already married an American. So at that time, Cô Minh was the only one in her family who knew English. So relative tried to arrange the match. Okay. And everyone encouraged her to accept that person so she could go to the United States and have better opportunities. But she refused. Okay. She said, saying that she wanted to build her own life. So she learned English by herself and create her own career. And that man later on was on his way back to Vietnam, but then he died in an accident on the way to the airport. So they never had the chance to meet. So she reflected that when she had reached marriageable age. And someone had shown interest in marrying her, but she refused and would not even let anyone talk to her about the benefit of marriage. She said that if someone had explained the health benefits back then, she may have listened because she was often sick. But her family only told her to marry so a husband could take care of her. And then she thought, oh, who would want to marry someone who always ill? So she resisted even more. Okay, but now we know that health will, that marriage will improve our well-being, overall well-being. Okay, as well as bring us a network of relationships. What about finances? Having a wife or a husband means having an additional source of income and a partner to discuss work and business plans with. Okay. Additional source of income. Additional source of income. Okay. So in a normal family, a husband most often handling the bigger matters, while the wife manage the smaller details well. And together, they complement each other. So marriage is compared to working on two legs instead of one, right? More stable, stronger, and we're able to go further. So for individuals, marriage is said to bring major benefits in 4 areas. Okay, inner being, health, relationships, and finances. And people who do not yet understand the value of marriage, they might think that living alone is simpler. But life is difficult either way. With a spouse, we gain extra support and resources in all 4 areas of life, especially financially. And people who do not yet understand marriage, okay, they often think that, oh, I can manage my own life, adding on other person only make life tiring and complicated. But in reality, living alone does not spare us from life's difficulties. We still encounter hardships and problems in our everyday life. And with a spouse, we gain added support in all four areas, especially financially. So Coleman said that back when she heard people jokingly work out an economic equation of two teachers, right? When they get married, two teachers, if they live separately, they spend all their money every month. So an example of two teachers, when they live as individual, when they have not yet married, two of them, okay, they all spend all of their money every month, and yet by the end of the year they somehow have saving after getting married. Okay. Why? So instead of paying for two rented places, now they only have to pay for one. All the cookings, all the utility, all the grocery shopping, okay, and can just pay for one instead of two, and so on. So it's become much more economical. And it only takes a little extra cost for two people to eat, which is cheaper than each person eating separately on their own. Right? So they save a certain amount. And when they discuss business together and work toward the future, their economic benefits become more solid. And if the wife does well, the husband can do even bigger things. For finances to be abundant and sustainable, marriage is very necessary. So if we aim for the achieve 7 dimensions of holistic wealth, 7 holistic wealth, but lack marriage, then is it not truly holistic? Especially in terms of material wealth. We can use this perspective to help others clearly see the benefits of marriage for themselves. Yeah? Okay, so have you seen the clearest benefits for individual yet? Everyone? So if we are aiming to achieve 7 holistic, okay, we must somehow get marriage, especially the material part, much better off with a marriage. And marriage also help us is create the condition, create circumstances for us to master our inner being, for us to alternate different level of wisdom. Okay, marriage help us to live create a condition for us to master our to enrich our mentality. Okay, help us to support our characters, refine our characters, okay, and cultivate our virtue, as well as enhancing our health physically and emotionally. Okay, and also help us to enhance our competency. Okay, so that is all the benefit. Competence. That's all the benefit for the individual. Okay. Let's finish this off with the benefit for the family. Okay. So next we will talk about the benefit of marriage for our family. In terms of relationships, the families is also strengthened. So that's the first benefit. The second benefit for family, marriage helps bring peace and affirm the family position and reputation in society and within the clan. So if a family children all get properly married and have good spouses, that family will have status and have good reputation in the area where they live. Okay, it's a side to say it's a side to you both. Okay, to fulfill marriage, awareness of marriage, and we have 2 single people in the Zoom. Okay. So if a family has several children and none of them get married, what happened? No one dares to come and ask for their hand. Then the whole family, okay, and the neighbor will somehow gossip and talk about it back in the day and become very distressing. Yeah, I mean, even nowadays, relatives do the talk when one doesn't get married. For example, okay, cô Minh, she was the only one in the family that didn't get married until a certain age, and yet her dad still worries so much that it gives him headaches. Okay. And that is just her. Let's talk about a family with many children, how much headache the parents have to carry. So marriage helps strengthen the family's position, reputation within the clans and society. Okay. The third benefit of marriage for family is that marriage is also bring economic benefit to the family as a whole. We can observe cases of inter-family marriages where large business groups become related by marriage in order to strengthen their economic power. Okay. Liên hôn gia tộc, inter-family marriages. Okay. Inter-family marriages. Liên hôn gia tộc. Inter-family marriages. Okay. That means large business groups become related by marriage in order to strengthen their economic power. And this happens back in the olden days when king and queens was in power, right? The first person they married is someone helped to strengthen their position on the throne, not really the person they love. Okay, and that's why kings or queens often have many partners, because the first person have to help him strengthen his position. Then the second, the third person may be someone he loves. Okay. But nowadays, obviously, we only allow one person marriage for life. So it's better if we can marry someone who we love, and also help each other to strengthen our economic together. Okay, so that's mean through marriage, okay, people not only bring benefits to each other as a couple themselves, okay, but if there's a well-matched marriages, they can also bring many benefits to the family. Okay, there is no issues here of one person taking advantage of another. We should not think about it in a negative way. We're just looking at the benefit, the positive way of it. Yeah. Obviously, life always have the negative way, the bad side, the dark side of it. Okay, but here we're looking at the benefit that marriage brings to the family. So we recognize that rather than having to cooperate with partners who are complete strangers, now we have partners who are relatives to our husband or wife. So the level of trust and connection can be much, much stronger. And if the two people live in a harmonious marriage, then their relative or their family can even get much more benefit. Why? Because when a family children are all properly married in a legitimate and respectable way and have good spouses, then that family standing and reputation within the clan, okay, within a big family, okay, will be expanded, will be elevated, and the family practice will become more secure. Okay, the family practice become more secure. So it takes a great deal of blessing and merit to have that. It is not something everyone automatically gets. So whether we view from a spiritual or material perspective, our marriage brings benefit to the family. And spiritually, the family also gains status and reputation within a society, within the relatives. Materially, we create more opportunity for cooperation and expand resources for the family when we connect with a suitable spouse. And of course, the extent of our blessings determine the kind of marriage partner we will meet. But if we reject marriage from the very beginning, then we deprive ourselves of that benefit. And for the family, marriage brings such benefit. And that's why families often wish to choose someone who is well matched in social and family background. Okay, well matched. Okay, môn đăng hộ đối. Okay. Well matched in social and family background. Well matched family. Okay. Well matched family. Môn đăng hộ đối. Well matched family. Families okay. There are two families come together at least. So they are matched socially, economically, yeah. And the concept of well matched family is not wrong. It only becomes problematic when people think negatively or misuse it to force marriages that not voluntarily. Okay? But if this well-matched idea is based on similarity in blessings and voluntary commitment from two individuals involved, then it is extremely good. And in the past, parents often advise us, but we young people often rarely listen. Okay, parents often tell to us what? Marry that person. Later you will even have land to live on. But we refuse and argue back. Okay, we go after love. Okay, we simply follow our emotion of love, and we probably argue with our parents just to marry the person we wanted. Then later on, after getting married, and when we start having children, okay, there was no money to buy meal, not even enough money to visit our parents. Then we will pay the price. So if the husband was diligent and worked hard to support the family, things were still manageable. But if he was influenced by friends, persuaded by neglect responsibilities, then only at that moment did we realize, oh my, if only I had listened to my parents back then. So a well-matched marriage is actually very good when viewed from the framework we are studying. So it reflects similarity in blessings between two people, as well as similarity between the two families, which creates more favorable conditions than having relationship with extreme differences. So, for two people to come together at all, there must already be a certain level of similarity between them. If there is also similarity and support from both families, then their situation becomes much more wonderful. Okay, and because marriage in a later, if you married in a later life, like cô Minh, okay, she married when she get to a certain age, not young anymore, and her husband is younger than her. So she, at first, there was no agreement from both family. Okay, her family and his family, they couldn't go to agreement because she is much older than him. Okay, and she accepted his confessions in 2022. He proposed it in 2023. Okay, they registered their marriage in 2024, and the wedding already took place in 2025. So each of these step-by-step stages help to build agreement from the people around her and her husband, the people in their family, and that they get full acceptance from both families rather than acting impulsively. Yeah. Previously, she thought that since they were already adult, both of them had careers and understanding, so they could simply decide their own lives. But after studying this knowledge, she changed her thinking and did not act that way. She needed the agreement from both families. And this is a way of receiving support through mutual consent. And if she had acted stubbornly and simply gone ahead on her own, it would simply have worked. Nothing terrible would have happened. But however, she would have lost a tremendous source of support, both materially and spiritually, from the family. Cô Minh husband named Chiron. Okay, and his family and her family is very close, loving, disciplined, and well organized. His family is very well organized family. And the first time she came to his house, she had to say that, wow, this is why this house is so joyful. Okay, if I was a member of this family, how happy would it be? So she loved his family that much. And every week, all the siblings and relatives gathered together on Sunday afternoon to eat, to connect, and spend time together. So the family also has a shared chat group with scheduled time for video call, so that every member can be present to ask about each other's work and health. At first, when she came to meet the family, she did not accept it. After hearing the introduction, they thought she was some kind of wealthy lady. So, Chiron's parents said that, my child, if you need money or anything, just come home and tell your parents and siblings. Okay? But like, if you marrying Min, how could you possibly be happy? And then the Chiron smiled and said that, oh my, Min is even poorer than I am. She doesn't even have any money or wealth. We simply love each other. So when Komen came to Thầy Chiron's house, right in front of her, his parents spoke directly to him that in the Huỳnh family line, from the past until now, we have always practiced one husband and one wife. Since you have already decided on your choice, then you must conduct yourself properly. Otherwise, you cannot remain in this family line. And at that moment, she looked confused. And then she asked the Chiron, what does your mom means when she said that? And he explained to her that, she means that since I have chosen, I must live properly and behave well. There must be no disorder later on, otherwise my name will be removed from the family genealogy. So we see that when we have the agreement of the family, we receive the blessings, love and protection from an entire lineage. But if we decide on our own and act stubbornly, we lose the value and benefit of marriage for the family. So when we do not bring benefit to the family in terms of reputation and connection, it becomes difficult for us to receive support from them. That is a matter of principle. Common mothers were also very worried. She often called her to remind that both families must agree before getting married. And she said that because her mom said that because common personality has always been that when she wants something, she just do it. And her mother afraid that if she disagree, Common might go somewhere else and get married on her own. So Common said to her mom that, no mom, I have been educated now. I'm not the same person anymore. I'm not the same person as before. Therefore, marriage brings, I will do it properly. So we see that marriage brings benefits to the family. And in return, we also receive the value from the family. The best approach is to patiently build agreement. We maintain a good image, understanding merit and blessings, and continue to cultivate them. So the person we choose as our husband or wife, we choose them because we see that they are good, right? We choose them ourselves. We're not talking about the case of forced marriage. We're not talking about the forced marriage here. Most of relationship, most of marriage, the partner chooses the other themselves. And that persons were born and raised in a family and lineage. So if they are so good, then surely that lineage must also be good. So if they understand principles and values, then their family must also understand those principles. If they do not immediately accept us, it might simply because we are not are too new to them. We do not yet know who, they do not yet know who we are, so they react that way. So just keep this mindset and remain patient and gentle, without tension and without overreacting. Just stay balanced, conduct yourself properly, and behave with harmony and respect. And that's what cô Minh did. So when the person she intends to marry, okay, see that she is good, then gradually his family also see that she is good, and in the end everyone will offer their blessings. That's the benefit of marriage for the family. We need to preserve this. Okay, both families are very important because family is the foundation. Okay, the cradle that nurtures the two individuals. So when two individuals connect well, the two families also connect well, creating a powerful source of support for that marriage. So if any of us previously did not have this perspective, then now we need to bring it into our awareness. Marriage is the matter between two individuals. Okay, but when it's connected with family, it's become the connection of two lineage. In terms of spirit, okay, there are aspects of reputation and position. In terms of material conditions, there is the combined strength and resources, helping everyone grow better together. Okay. So we're going to take some time to contemplate our inner being about marriage, relate to ourselves and our family. Okay, we still had the benefit of organization and society, but we will continue to talk about those tomorrow. Okay. Tomorrow we will discuss about the benefit of marriage towards organization and society. Okay. We finish here today.
Sao mà giờ nghe quá trời lợi ích rồi giờ đi.
There's a lot of benefit when we actually see, looking at the bright side. Whatever we focus on is expand. We had to looking at the benefit and see it as much until we see that, oh, there's no way to live single anymore. I have to get married.
Có plan mà cái hình của em đó.
Eventually get there, you get there. There's quite a lot of people in our organization get together during and after the mentor course. Yeah. I think every mentor programs, mentor course, there is at least one couple get together, at least one, or more. We don't even know. Okay, only their social connection now.
Cô share về cái của cô đi. Marriage.
Me and my husband, I think back then when I was young, I only have a thinking that I must marry someone who is opposite to my dad, who is completely different from my dad, because I have a bit of problem with my dad in the past. We resolve our problem now. We are very, very close now, me and my dad. But back then, when I was like 15, 16, 17, we have a big disagreement when I went abroad to study, when I went to the UK to study, I was 18. I was so happy that I'd be out of his control. He tried to control everything in my life. It's like a typical Vietnamese man. They he make me do everything that I didn't want it. So the moment that I left the family and went to study abroad, I was so happy. And in my mind, I only think that the person I would marry must be totally different from my dad, totally opposite to my dad. And I managed to find my husband. So I went to the UK in 2005, and I went to church. And the funny thing is, now when I look back, I see that there are a lot of, there's differences, there are the opposite side, but also there are quite a lot of similarity between my dad and my husband. Okay, so my dad and my mom, I think they was get acquainted at church, because mom, her mother, my mother, her family was, I think they were selling, they have a small shop, a small shop at the corner of the church or in school or something, back in her hometown. And then he went to church, and she sing in the choir of the church. So and he also good at playing guitar, so they get to know each other somehow through the choir. When I went to England, I went to a church. I didn't know I'm Catholic. I didn't know that I went to a Church of England. It is very close to where I believe. And then I'm just thinking, I go to church on Sunday, so I went to that church. But eventually, about half a year later, I found out it's a Church of England. But at first, I thought it's Catholic because everything looked similar, all the ceremonies, everything looked similar. The only difference is that the priest is a woman. I did questions about that, but didn't really think much. Okay. Anyway, it's a Church of England. I went to church on Sunday, and then eventually I saw a guy playing the piano for the church. And every Sunday he keeps stay back to play piano. So after the mass finished, after the service finished, he stay behind to practice his piano. It's more of an organ rather than piano, a huge organ. So then I stay back and enjoy the music, and also I get to talk to him. I took initiative to get to talk to him because back in Vietnam I also play piano for 5, 6, 7, 10 years something. So we got talking, and it's go from there. So we were friends at first. We were friends for a year and something. Yeah. And then eventually we went out. We hang out with friends. And then he asked me out for a while, more than a year. I think he liked me first, but didn't really say because he quite shy. And then I realized that I think he in love with me or something, because he keep asking me out, messaging me and stuff like that. Okay. And then I also growed my love toward him. At first it's just a friendship to me because I was still in a different relationship with another guys in Vietnam. So I was just like a friend to him. Yes, and then after that we break up because of distance, and other things. So I started realizing that, oh, my husband now, this guy is actually, he loved me, and he actually chased after me something. But he didn't really say anything, just keep asking me out. I was also in university. I think that's why he also doing his university. But as soon as he finished his university, I was in my second year. He in his last year, and then soon after that, I heard he got a scholarship for PhD degree in London. So then the relationship keep growing, and when he graduate, yes, he graduate, then he also proposed. So we went to New York, and he's proposed me under the Brooklyn Bridge in New York. And then we also went to see my parents in Florida as well. So the first time he went to see my parents, my mom cooked pork ear, which is very strange to a Westerner. But he still ate it, just how polite. Nowadays, if I give it to him, he will refuse to eat it. But back then, because of polite. So yeah. So it's been a while. So we was friends for like 2 years, and then we got engaged for another 2 years. And then when I graduate my master degree in I graduated in 2011. Yeah, so be a year before I graduate. So yes, we got married in 2010. And then 7 years later, it's been like 16 years now. And 7 years later, we got children. Yeah. So back then he was still doing his research in King's College in London, and I was working for a company outside of London. Yeah. So we both pursue a different career. I was event manager, and his is like profession in university. A professor, more like professor, but he didn't take the position. They offered him the professor position, but he didn't want to take it. Doesn't want to deal with a lot of people. So then he go off and do physics. In university, he learned 2 subjects, physics and music, and then he got scholarship for to research in physics. So that's how his career path go, and now he also doing work for one of the big company, Germany company, I think. Wipro is one of the big company related to telecommunication, one of the biggest company in the world related to telecommunication. They have branches all over the world. Okay, so he traveled quite a lot. Back then, when I was an event manager, I also traveled quite a lot. It's the kind of motivational event. It's not a wedding. It's more of a speaker motivational event. Yeah. So that's how it's go.
Yeah, so romantic. Oh, lovely.
Yeah, there's a lot of romance in our relationships, and I like to keep that going. His is quite shy, bit timid, and he loves to deal with machine rather than deal with people. He have very few friends, but they are very close. So he have friends that from his, I think his elementary school, and they still be friends until now. His friend can be counted on fingers in the hand, and that's it. Only few of them that he be close to, but they keep a very tight relationships. Whereas I have so many friends, but I don't really keep anyone so close. I can be friend for a period of time, and that's it. I think that majority with women, there's the different in nature, women and men. Men to hang out more with their friends and have a respectable relationship with their friends, and closer to a certain number of friends only, whereas women tend to have more friends in a different stage of life. I think I don't know. Maybe it's just me. It's just me. Okay.
So, do you think any difference between the perspective of about relationship between foreigner and Vietnamese people?
Yes, there is. There's a lot, but nowadays, Vietnam is open more to the different country to come to different people from different country to come to Vietnam, right? So more and more nowadays, not only in Vietnam but all over the world, people marriage different races. They happen quite a lot now. Multinational relationships is more and happen more and more now. And yes, there is certain advantage and certain disadvantage to it. But if we are only looking at the good side of it, then that's all good. There's some people love to marry their own races, but some people they do not bother of different races. With me and my husband, we're not only different in races, which means he's is English, I'm Vietnamese. We're also differences in age. He's about 13 years older than me. We also different, big difference in knowledge-wise. Background, we are so different. I'm into different things. He into different things. I'm kind of like extrovert, mixed introvert, and he is fully introvert. Okay, he's into telecom, machine, all that sort of stuff. I'm more into people. What else? We have so much difference, but that differences attract us to each other. Okay, some people they like similarity. I have a couple of friends. They were friends from childhood. They are friends from childhood, and then they got married after they graduate from university. So they love that. They love the similarity between themselves. I think I'm kind of person who love the differences. But then if later on in relationship, if we do not harmonize those differences, then it create conflict. If you be able to maintain the harmonization in differences, then you eventually reach harmonious relationships. But that differences certainly attract each other as first. Okay, I like different things. I love different things, and I still love things differently nowadays. That he gets so annoyed. My husband gets so annoyed sometimes. I keep changing things. I keep moving things in the house. I keep changing, so he have to change with me. So he's the type of person love to stay at one place. Things stay the same, no differences, no changing. And I would like the person, okay, let's move to different places, let's move to different house, let's having new thing in our life. And he had to bear with it.
Yeah, you experienced people.
But it's make life more colorful. Yes. So I'm the type of person where I think he had to put up with the most. But the great thing is that we have the same. We have a similar, I think, moral in a moral marriage. So my husband, he once said that once I marry someone, it will be one person for the rest of his life, and he determined that. So back in the past when we have problem in our relationship, I was the person who proposed that we should please split up, but he determined that no, that never ever happened. Okay, whatever happened, we still like in this marriage. So we also been through a lot, but yeah, most of the problem caused by me. And that's why I got to learn, I got to study, I got to improve myself, in so that I can be matched to him. And because I keep changing all the time, inwardly and outwardly, and he somehow remained very balanced. That is a source of a place for me to go back to reflect myself as well. So certainly in our marriage, I have so much condition for me to improve my inner being. So I grow over time because of him, because of his stability.
Yeah. Balance. It's so interesting. Thank you for sharing. Chắc cô làm talk show luôn đi cô.
Yeah.
Different.
Back when there was a time when the teacher said teacher encouraged people to write book. Remember, there's a period when teacher encouraged everyone to write a book. When he published the book Cultivating Happiness, Mastering Life, I was thinking maybe I should write a whole series about the love, an international love of a Vietnamese girls and a London boy. It's just my thought, I never put it in practice. There's so much going on.
I asked about the loving with the foreigner because many people ask me that. Maybe I think they think that I will marry a foreigner, not Vietnamese people. But I said that I never have this image in my mind. I don't know why. I just have the Vietnamese people married to Vietnamese people. That's why I want to ask that it is the difference between the perspective when loving other person in another world, in another country. So I never have the image about that.
If you find someone, you find a way. If you love someone, you find a way to live with them. Doesn't matter the barriers of language, the barrier in cultures, the barriers in background, anything. If you love someone, you find a way to be with them. And the more differences you have, the more you have to grow yourself. The more chances you have to grow yourself, the more opportunity you have to master yourself. The less barriers, the less differences, the less chances you have to grow. So just think it is that way. But then you can grow together. So, but before you can grow together, you must grow yourself first. You must be self-mastery first before you can master certain things together with the other person. So somehow it's I certainly believe in total karma when it's get to relationships. Yeah, because somehow I attract a person who completely like opposite to my dad. So my dad, he's very outwardly, and my husband very inwardly. My dad, he can talk a lot. He can talk about anything, and my husband rarely talk. If he talk a lot, that must be something that relate to his work topic, for example, something he's very into. But even so, he doesn't really talk much. My husband can say something and can turn something from black to white, white to black. And my husband, he's like, no, if it's black, it's black. If it's white, it's white. There are no thing in between. There's no gray area. My dad like love the gray area part. Okay, and my dad, he likes to do things fast. My husband likes to take time to do things. He's more careful in doing things. So I wanted that person, now I get him. There's a physically, right? Physically, my dad, when he go out and it's sunny, when it's out sun, his skin get dark. My husband, he's already white. When he go out under the sun, his skin doesn't get dark. It get burned. like spiritually, internally, externally, materially, they're all so different.
So I think this is the book you should write about
Yeah.
your dad and your husband.
That's what I wish it's for, but then now I learned the lessons. Be careful what you ask for. If you have no awareness, you might just ask for what you don't really want. Yeah, so be careful what you ask for, because you might just get it. But then no regret. Yeah, I've appreciate a lot that I have him in my life, and again every single day. He know that there's a certain thing that I do and he doesn't really like or anything, but he still allow me to do it. He still let me do it, and then eventually I learn my lessons. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you very much. So, finish for today.
I believe that you're gonna meet someone very interesting as well, Trinh. You meet someone who will bring colorful to your life, and you, even though you said that you don't know, you don't really have images yet, but I believe you'll be eventually find someone suitable to you. Think of it this way, right? If we talk about the religious perspective a little bit, right? We already live more than I would say more than 8 billion lives already. That is the number of lives that the Buddha has lived. So we even live in this life 100,000 of lives already, right? And in each life we encounter a certain different relationships. Okay, even if we become animal, even in certain life we are animal, right? Animal got to mate with each other. So even as animal, they still have partners, and some animal have partner for life, like swan. Some animal, they have many different partners. Okay, but in any life we all have partners. Even a flower, okay, there are male flower and female flower, right? So in any life we have already encountered so many people, and in a sense, somehow we already develop a relationship to everyone around us. So anyone that you look at in your life now, or whom you meet in the future, okay, already have a certain emotional relationship toward you. It's just that this life, whether you choose them, whether you select a person to live with for the rest of your life or not, okay, then eventually they appear in your life. Okay, so every people on this earth, okay, we have already have a certain relationship with them. If we're looking at countless lifetime, we might just be husband and wife to everyone already.
Yeah.
So all related. It's just this life, whether we choose, whether we select to continue to live with, to choose one person and continue to live with that one person. That's a choice that we must make. But any choice that we make, it depends on our awareness at that certain stage. Okay, so do not worry that there's no one suitable for you. There's someone already suitable to you. It's just waiting for you to be ready to appear.
Thank you, cô.
Thank you ever so much, James, for accompanying me. I mean, if the next sections are in the next, because I've got to continue this sharing anyway. So if any day you're unable to make it to the Zoom, don't worry. Just watch the live stream. Okay, do not feel bad or anything that you cannot come into Zoom. I know that sometimes you're busy and you have classes as well. But just believe that it's because of you, and thank you ever so much for your support and everyone as well. I'll be able to continue this until it's finished, so I can move on to the next programs. Okay.
Dạ.
Rồi, biết ơn em yêu nhiều.
Dạ, bye cô.
Ok, bye bye Trinh.